13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
A quiet start down in Perry, but showers in a few spots, fog elsewhere. We'll talk about what to expect through the day today and into the night. If you're looking for a job, Warner Robins is looking to hire firefighters, how they plan to deal with the shortage. Plus, coming up at 6:30.
If you fly and you live in Central Georgia, well, you're going to want to know the name L.H. Thompson. They manufacture parts like this that could one day save your life. We'll explain.
And coming up, hear about an art show exploding in Macon, how it gives artists a platform in the unusual places you'll find art around the Grand Opera House.
A good Thursday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:31 a.m. here on this February the 2nd. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. I'm Wanye Reese. You might want to grab that jacket before you head out the door because Alex says that we may see some rain a little bit later on today. Yeah, especially once we get into the evening hours and into the overnight across Central Georgia. Not only just a little bit of rain, but potentially a lot of rain depending on where you are. We'll map out all the details here. Taking a live look over downtown first, though. Temperatures in the mid-50s. 55, the popular number on the map. Warner Robins, Dublin, Perry, Milledgeville. You're going to find a lot of those numbers out there. But also a fog in a few spots. Visibility down to 0.7 of a mile in Eastman, 2.3 miles in Scotland, and then once you get up towards Macon and Warner Robins, we're okay for now. I think we'll be okay for the majority of the morning, but patchy areas of fog will be possible. So 50s pretty much area-wide, 48 in Monticello. Once you work your way up towards the north, you're going to find more 40s, 41 in Blue Ridge, 36 over towards Huntsville. You keep going north and you get really cold stuff. 18 degrees in Wichita, 32 in Dallas, 41 in Houston this morning. Big winter storm going on over to the west. A few sprinkles out there, especially northern Bibb, Monroe County. That'll be in Jones County before too long. But this winter storm out to the west continues. This is like day 3 or 4 of this out to the west. Said Dallas was at 32, and yeah, some ice going on there. All the way over towards the Nashville area this morning as well. High temperature is 60 today, mostly cloudy. We'll talk a lot more about your Groundhog Day forecast here in just a moment.
Thank you, Alex. We'll talk to you soon. We continue to learn new details about the triple shooting of a South Bibb family that left one man dead and his wife and daughter hurt. The shooting happened on Thoroughbred Lane in Macon a few weeks ago. 40-year-old Terrell Mills is in custody charged with the shooting of Panal Kumar Patel and his family. In Bibb County, Mills is charged with felony murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault. Mills was in jail in Jones County when the arrest warrant came out in the Patel case. He's already locked up there on unrelated charges of armed robbery, aggravated assault, and cruelty to children. The Bibb arrest warrant says investigators found messages on Mills's phone about the Patel shooting. It includes messages from a person from the sheriff's office that they describe as another suspect with news articles about the shooting. The warrant says Mills told that person to, quote, lay low. It adds they found a video with Mills's nephew talking about their crew following the family van. A family friend of the Patel tells 13 WMAZ they plan to hold a funeral service today in Fort Valley. It will be a private service. Well, a Bibb County deputy is now out of jail after she was arrested for illegal communications with inmates. She is out on a $30,000 bond. Paulette Lanier is accused of using a cell phone to talk to 3 state prison inmates. The arrest warrant says she shared information on a homicide case, security details, and names of other staff members. One of the inmates she's accused of talking to is John Tellius Mathis, and Mathis is a convicted gang member now in Washington State Prison. She will remain on paid leave from the sheriff's office during the investigation. 6:34, getting you to your state news today. Georgia House members will vote on an amended spending plan. House budget writers are trying to ease the burden for public school systems when it comes to rising health care costs. The House Appropriations Committee approved a change that would shift $100 million into the state employee health plan. It would allow school districts to stretch out a big bump in insurance premiums for non-teachers over 3 years. That group includes bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, and classroom aides. The House panel rejected Governor Kemp's plan for $25 million in grants to improve student learning and instead spending that money on school security grants. A few weeks ago, we told you how the Fort Valley Police Office announced efforts to fight blight. Well, the home that we showed you in Fort Valley looks a lot different today. It was once known as one of the city's most rundown homes. Crews started working on the Montrose Street home Monday. They worked for about 7 hours, hauling off at least 5 loads of trash. Police announced on Facebook they expect the cleanup to take about a week. As work steams ahead, City Economic Director Gary Lee says cleaning blighted properties makes other ways for more opportunities.
blighted properties are so numerous here that we are going to actually take those blighted properties down and start putting homes in those areas where the blight is. And what that'll do is that'll raise the value of the area with the new comps that will come along with the new property that we'll build in those areas.
Now crews have to tackle the backyard of the home. They say that they will not be cleaning the inside. Another update for you this morning. Seniors who live at Vineville Christian Towers are now moving back into their units after more than a month in hotels. The complex is a low-income senior facility, and many of the residents have a disability and they're on Social Security. While they are happy to be back, some aren't happy with the moving process. On Monday, people living at the La Quinta Hotel were allowed to move back into their apartment. However, due to the water damage, the residents are moving to the 11th floor and above. With only one elevator working, construction still going on, and movers coming in and out of the elevator, some people are upset. A few weeks ago, we spoke with Frances Kane, who was living with her sister when the pipes burst on Christmas. She now says that movers brought in some of her items, but she feels forgotten.
With everything that's going on over here, they're still trying to do the construction that had already started in September, this past September, and they've got to finish. They've got all the stuff off of the second floor, except mine.
Other residents that we talked to say that they're having similar moving problems. 6:37 now on your Thursday morning. There's a new way that you can get around in the city of Perry. A new ordinance means you can take a golf cart on the road. Janice Fignano enjoys Perry's downtown scene. She says that she's excited about this new four-wheel option.
Some of us may not get around very well. So riding on the golf cart would be a tremendous opportunity to visit all the shops.
Alan Everidge, the police chief in Perry, says rules for personal transportation vehicles will be pretty much the same as any traditional car. Some of the requirements include registration, being 16 years old or older, and having a valid driver's license. Everidge says the speed limit for most streets in downtown is 25 miles per hour or less.
Now with this ordinance, people can legally ride in the city of Perry on streets that are not state routes, and the speed limit is 25 miles an hour or less.
Now, Everidge says even in a golf cart, you must abide by the law. In this story, we will have a full list of how you can register. That's on our website on 13wmaz.com. Well, are you looking for a job? The nationwide public safety shortage is hitting close to home. The Warner Robins Fire Department says they're looking to fill 18 positions. Chief Ross Moulton says they're seeing people leave due to retirement and the amount of pay for workers.
When I was hired in 1990, there were 110 applicants that applied for the job for 10 positions.
Moulton says the lack of workers puts strain on the firefighters who have to fill extra hours. Until June, the city is offering a $4,000 hiring incentive paid out over 3 years. He says the job's greatest reward may not be the money, but the family that you join and the opportunity for growth and experience. Firefighter Nick Leach says the mentorship and support helped him reach his goals. You can find applications on the city website under jobs. They have applications for certified and uncertified firefighters. The deadline for uncertified applications closes tomorrow. 6:38, it's Thursday, which means that it's time for Scene 13. Our morning reporter TJ Anthony joins us live in studio with an event exploding here in Central Georgia. Good morning to you, TJ.
Good morning, Wani. Glad to have you back. That's right, exploding right at the Grand Opera House. Now, this is the second year of the Macon Art Explosion, the event that highlights the talent right here in the heart of Georgia.
That's one of my things. I want to make an impact on the world through photos, because photos tell a story and photos last forever.
D. Stowmore knows a picture's worth 1,000 words.
I love going around meeting new people and telling their stories of everyday people.
He and other artists like him are getting the chance to showcase their work at the Macon Art Explosion.
How many times can somebody say they had their art displayed in a theater?
Director of Arts Marketing for Mercer University, Julia Morrison, says the event's designed for artists by artists to not only be inclusive to different forms of art, but also be affordable for artists to show off their skills.
We take our historic, beautiful theater and we present art everywhere and anywhere in unexpected places with new faces.
Artists range from painters to even musicians who will show off their skills around the theater.
Iconic box seats. These become a performance space. The dressing rooms, we had site-specific exhibitions last year in all of the dressing rooms. the green room. We had intimate green room performances, a rap show.
A chance for some to let their light shine through.
It's a very important event for artists because a lot of artists don't get the chance to showcase their work. Sometimes they can't afford the application, or sometimes they think their work is not good enough.
Now admission is $5 with the weekend pass, and kids under 12, they get in free. Wanye, back to you.
All right, then. Thank you so much, TJ. Phenomenal job on that story. The festival kicks off on February the 18th. A Macon manufacturer makes high-end bicycle parts and also helps to keep planes in the air. Coming up, we give you a look at the company and how they make that here. Plus, as we know, in central Georgia, tornadoes can be very damaging or leave no destruction at all. Our meteorologist Taylor Stephenson breaks down how tornadoes are rated based on their damage. All that and more comes next. But before we get to weather, it's Groundhog Day and the countdown is almost up. The extremely accurate prediction of the arrival of the spring forecast by America's own rodent, the groundhog. Today, Georgia's own groundhog, General Beauregard Lee, will have a special event at Dawson Trails Nature Center in Jackson. That's at 7:30 a.m. The time right now is 6:41 a.m. here on your Thursday morning. I have never seen Central Georgia such a strong hate for an animal by a meteorologist. Until I met Alex Forbes.
A gator, the Florida Gators, I think that's kind of up there with the groundhog for me.
Top 5.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make me pull up that recipe again.
Please.
We'll spare me. Groundhog.
Please.
Yeah, but so Groundhog Day means it's February 2nd, and it is warmer than it should be for any given February 2nd across central Georgia. So maybe that's the writing on the wall. Maybe it's an early spring. 61 is the average high for yesterday, made it to 67. The record was 81 here in central Georgia. Looking live over downtown, we've got temperatures in the 50s, 56 in Macon, elsewhere across the area, mid-50s, 55 in Byron, Fort Valley, 55 in Warner Robins, 54 in Cochran, 55 in Dublin. Up towards the north, you're going to run into some cooler stuff, 48 in Monticello, especially up towards Atlanta. You're going to run into mid-40s up there, and then close to 60 back down to the south. Also watching some fog out there this morning, mainly in Eastman, but also other patches of it around central Georgia. All of those sensors are at airports around the area. So the radar picture do have a few sprinkles out there. If you're waking up in Monroe County, maybe North Macon, over towards Lamar, Upson County, about 5.5 raindrops moving from west to east. And then as we head through the afternoon hours, that's going to be possible mainly north of Crawford, Macon, Bibb, over to Washington County through the afternoon, but then all of central Georgia into the night tonight. Out to the west, what a mess. An ice storm from Nashville down to Memphis, Little Rock, Dallas, Austin, Texas. Remember Hunter Williams? I just saw something from him a few minutes ago. This is day 3 or 4 of this out there, so luckily we're not contending with any of that here in central Georgia. Rather, we're just going to have the rainfall, especially once we get into the evening tonight. So 2 p.m. scattered showers in and around the area. I don't think we're going to see the sun today. And once we get to about 6 p.m., there's the widespread rainfall. Into the overnight hours, the rain could be maybe heavy at times. Great sleeping weather, but then out the door tomorrow morning, it's going to be colder, talking about mid-40s, but also still wet at times. Hopefully getting the back edge of the rain out of here fairly quickly, but it looks like by 7, 8 o'clock, we're still going to be hanging on to it, Macon, Warner Robins, but then be drying out by the time we get to about 11 or so. Clear, cool, windy Friday evening across the area, setting the stage for a clear weekend. Waking up Saturday close to freezing across the area, and then into Saturday afternoon, just some partly cloudy skies. On into Sunday. There's maybe a chance of rain down to the south, not really going to come into central Georgia though. Clear on Monday, clear on Tuesday, and then once we get to Wednesday, watching for about a 20% chance of rain, but notice only the European model is showing that as of now. So something to keep an eye on during the next 24 hours, 1 inch to 2 inches of rain up to the north, elsewhere between a ½ inch to 1 inch across central Georgia. And after we get through this wet stretch, we're going to be talking about a dry weekend ahead. So a 90% chance of rain tonight, 60% chance of rain for tomorrow morning. There's your Groundhog Day forecast. 60 the high today under mostly cloudy skies. Cooler this weekend, 52 on Saturday. It starts a new warming trend back to 72 by Wednesday.